how to read economic news or how to trade economic news. So today I'm going to teach you guys a very simple method and a very understandable method on how to understand economic news. Now, economic news is a fundamental analysis, and in forex trading we have two types of analysis: technical, which is like the chart, and also fundamental analysis, which is the news. So now, as a forex trader, the first step you need to learn how to trade economic news or read economic news is to have an economic calendar. So this economic calendar is basically a calendar that gives dates of events that are going to occur. So data is going to be presented in so day, so time. So that's the importance of this calendar. Every trader has an economic calendar. So now, at these economic calendars, this is where the news are presented. News like jobless claims, that's people that are jobless, right? Jobless claims, unemployment rates, right? Then consumer confidence, GDP. So let's just go with this 4. We have more. When I open my chart, I will give you guys more of it. So now you have to understand that we have 3 types of news. We have the low impact news, we have the medium impact news, and we have the high impact news. So the low impact news is basically like a news that isn't necessarily going to move the market, isn't necessarily going to make the market volatile. A medium impact news is just almost similar with the low medium impact news. Now the high impact news is all you need to understand, because this news I stated here, these are all high impact news. And how you identify a high impact news is by the red sign. A low medium impact news has a yellow sign, and no, a low has a green sign and a medium has a yellow sign, then a high impact has a red sign. So this news I presented to you, these are high impact news. Now what happens is that when you open your calendar, or in the calendar rather, it states, okay, let's talk about jobless claims. It will tell you the amount of people that were jobless in United States, in the UK, in the France, depending on the currency. USD is definitely United States, so let's go with USD because USD is king. Now jobless claims, let's say the calendar gives you the amount of jobless claims. The present amount of jobless claims, the previous amount of people that were jobless in United States, and also the predicting amount. So now this is where reading the economic news comes into, because you have already been presented with the former, the present. Now we go for the future, and nobody knows the future. Now this calendar helps collect data after it has already been discussed and passed, so it will give you what it is, what's going to come out at the actual moment. That's for the future. So you look at the date, the time, and the venue. This is what the calendar does: the date, the time that the news will be presented. Now while looking at this calendar, let's see these jobless claims. As it states, jobless claims, that's people that are jobless. So people that were jobless before were 12,000. I'll put 12k here, right? People that were jobless were 12,000. Let's put this one as previous. Now in the present, people that are jobless are, let's see, 15,000. Can you see the price increasing? Then now in the future, let's leave this one as F. In the future now, according to prediction of economists and the Federal Reserve, according to the United States, they predicted that we have high people that are jobless. So we are predicting the figures to be 20,000. Now this is not just a prediction, like I stated, it's a data collected by different companies, different organizations to know how many people are jobless. Now in the future, we now predicted, or rather the prediction was showing it to be 20,000, but we have to wait for the time. And let's say the time, it will tell you the time this news is going to be released. So let's say the time is going to be released by 2 p.m. right? By 2 p.m. Now we wait. 1:59. Immediately it's 2 p.m. the result came out, and it was according to the predicted, which was 20k. Now this news turns out to be as expected. So because we expected it, we predicted it, and it came out to be 20,000 as predicted. Now what happens in the chart? It's not enough. That's why we trade with Confluence. You have to have at least 3 confirmations. This is just one confirmation. Now what am I looking for to see in my chart? Because this is a United States dollar news, I go to any of my United States peers. Let's say I go to my United USD JPY, right? USD Japanese yen. Now I go to the chart, and when I go to the chart, because this news came out as expected, because it came out as expected, I go to my chart. Already I've been in my chart, but what I'm expecting to see, or rather what I'll add to my Confluence to trade, that's to buy the dollar, because the news came out as expected. But looking at it, I realized that this is jobless claims news. That means people that are jobless. If people are jobless, that means the economy is not good now, and it came out higher than our present. So that makes dollar to be weak. Do you understand? It came out as expected. High amount of people, more than the present, from 15,000 jobless people to 20,000 jobless people. The economy is not good now. So what I'm expecting is that the dollar is weak, right? But expectation isn't enough. I need Confluence, I need confirmations. Now I go to my chart, and already I've started seeing a lower low, a downtrend, a lower low. And the news came out after I've already marked, because there's already first lower low, lower high, now the second lower low, and it's at this my trending line. This is where technical analysis comes into. Now it is at this my trending line. What's happening to my marker? So at this point, when the news came out, I'm already on a downtrend. So the news is confirming to me that yes, the dollar is weak, because high amount of people are jobless. People that are jobless are still increasing, and I'm on a downtrend in my chart. That's second confirmation. Now the third confirmation, personally I will use a candlestick confirmation, because a candlestick is a representation between the relationship between buyers and sellers. And at this point I see an engulfing candlestick. If you watch my videos on candlestick, I explained what an engulfing is, but for the purpose of this video, let me just give a demo. I see a bearish engulfing. This is red and this is green. That means the sellers engulfed the buyers, and why we say they engulfed them is because they closed above the opening of the buyers. I saw it at this point. I'll trade it down. That's my third confirmation, and I'll take it down to the next support level. I hope you are getting my point. So with this simple, because this is very simple, this is very understandable. If you watch me diligently, you understand what I'm trying to say. Now I compare these results. People that are jobless claims. People are supposed to have job. People are not supposed to be jobless. If people are jobless, that means the economy is not good and the country is like going down. But this is a currency, right? USD. So now as you can see, the jobless claims came out higher than, this is past, this is present, and this is future. It came out higher than the present, meaning people are increasing. And I came to my chart, to this my USD JPY, because it's a United States dollar pair and a Japanese yen, and people are jobless in the US, meaning people don't have work, meaning the dollar is weak. And I came to my chart, and my USD JPY pair is on a downtrend. I wait for it at a swing point, and immediately when it was 12, the news closed this my point with an engulfing. with an engulfing. Don't forget, you can also have other candlesticks like an inverted hammer. Can you see this hammer? This you can call this a bearish pin bar. If I see a bearish pin bar or an engulfing at this point, with my confirmation of the news, economic news, and also the type of market, a downtrending market, I'll sell it. I hope I'm making sense. We have different types of economic calendar. Me personally, I've been using this economic calendar since 2019, and I can vouch for it because it's user friendly and also it's just the right app for me. We have different types of Forex economic calendars, but I use my FX book and it's free to use. My FX book. So in this my FX book, you just don't have a calendar that just has the events that are going to be presented. You also have where you can read some articles, news like FOMC. You understand? News like FOMC for the United States, right? It's not a data kind of actual previous, no, it's a news that the Fed chairman always, like, it's like a conference between the Fed chairman. So a news like FOMC, you are not expecting to see actual previous or a presented data in figures. No, it's about where the economy is heading to, where the United States dollar is heading to, where they can project. So it's a news actually. You can watch. We have different news platforms. This is just an economic calendar. We have economic news platform like Bloomberg. So Bloomberg News is where you can see all those kind of news, you know. Wall Street Journal, you know. Some you subscribe, you know, but on YouTube it's free when you are watching YouTube live. So for the Forex calendar, I use my FX book. So if you don't have any, you can go get my FX book. It's on App Store, it's on Google Play too, you know. So with this my FX book, the first thing I'll tell you to do, I'll show you guys practical, but the first thing I want you guys to do is to filter, right? Because you have different currencies. Now, like I said, in your portfolio, especially if you're a beginner, in your portfolio, you don't have to have different types of pairs. Figure out the pairs that work for you. Is it USD? Is it Euro USD that you like trading or has paid you more or you want to focus on? Is it USD JPY? Let's go with just these two, right? USD JPY. Okay, let's go with three. Let's go with GBP2 JPY. So you see this? In this case now, you only need 3 pairs. A news that only presents 3 pairs. So you go to your settings and filter all these currencies. Any country or any place that doesn't has euro, you tick euro, you tick USD, and you tick GBP, that's British pounds, euros, United dollars, and so these ones that you tick would be the only data that will be presented to you. There is no any other currency that will be presented as your data in your calendar except these euros, USD, and British pounds. Now the next step you need to do is to go to the types of news. Like I stated, we have the low impact news, we have the medium impact news, and we have the high impact news. Honestly, I've been here, done that, and I'm trying to make this very easy for you. You don't need low and medium impact news because every blessed day of the week, those 5 trading days of the week from Mondays to Fridays, there are always news coming out, but they are mostly low and medium impact news. So filter them. You need to filter the low, and all these examples I gave you and many more, they are not even in medium or low category. They are just high impact news, and high impact news are the only news that moves the market, makes the market volatile. Now you tick your high impact news. So anything concerning these euros now, or any European country that they are using euros, it will not, if it is not a high impact news, it will not be presented to you as a news that will come out. Same thing goes with the USD. Any news that is not any currency news that is not a high impact news will not be presented to you. Same thing with GBP, that's British pounds, Great British pounds. Any news coming out from the UK that it's not a high impact news will not be presented to you. So you reduce a lot of distractions. There are days that when you don't see a high impact news, you won't want to trade, because why not? The market is not even moving. You know that it's stagnant. Maybe the market is consolidating. Maybe the market is just choppy. You don't know what the direction is happening because there's no news. So when you check and you find out that there's no news, you don't even trade. News are the major things that make markets move volatile. I'll give you guys example. I'll give you practical. I'll show you guys how news affects the market, how you can correlate news with the market. So these are some examples of news, and they are basically defined in my FX book. So if a jobless claims news is coming out and it's in my FX book, you use my FX book and you click on that news, it will tell you the definition. It will explain, briefly explain the meaning of jobless claims to you. So you don't actually even need me to start telling you what is jobless claims, or what is unemployment rate, or what is consumer confidence, or what is GDP. Everybody knows GDP, but the news platform will break it down for you what it means. So it's there. I'll show you guys practical. So reading an economic news is what makes you a trader. But then at the end of the day, economic news favors long-term traders more than short-term traders. You know why? Because there might be a speculation of, okay, let's talk about the interest rate. An interest rate might be cut, which will make a currency strong, but it won't do that in the short run. It's in the long run that interest rate. So you might actually even be on a high impact news and it will come out as expected, but in the chart it might not be volatile at that moment. Why? Depending on the news. Just the way I said, interest rate cut. Sometimes a news like interest rate cut, it doesn't happen immediately. It's like a long-term thing. So basically, we just use economic news to anticipate the volatility of the market and also position ourselves well. But anybody that is a long-term trader, like people who trade for months, they don't even need to be bothered. Like when the news comes out, okay, they already know they are already projecting the future. So you see that it's not like a short-term thing, it's not like an immediate thing for them. So but then economic news is very, very powerful. You cannot just be watching chart every time reading. No matter how you read chart and you don't watch economic news, or you don't analyze fundamentally, you get it wrong. I've not even met any professional or profitable trader who doesn't analyzes the two, because that's what makes you a trader. Trading with confluence, that's what gives you the success, confidence, and the profit. Knowing what's happening, that's what gives you the knowledge too, gives you the edge over JJCs, amateurs and beginners and people who don't know what's happening. I hope this my video was helpful, and also let me know what you think. If it was, if it wasn't,